Hey, it's David, and welcome to the first episode of Mini converting this shed extension into my workshop. It's been a long time coming. I recently just built this shelf, which is what I'm going to show you how to do today. This shelf was purpose-built specifically for all these boxes that I got at an auction for about $10. Unfortunately, they were also full of a lot of stuff that probably is worth more than $10, but not a whole lot more than $10. So I thought it was a steal, and I wanted to make a box of them. This will hold 24. I have about 40 of them, contrary to what you're going to see in the video. And basically, I'm going to build this thing out of a single sheet of plywood. Here's all that I had left over. So as you can see, not very much. That was all that's left over from the one sheet of plywood. And I built it using a 15-year-old jig that I had never taken out of the box before. And later on, I'll tell you what I thought of that whole process and how I liked it. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe. We have a lot of new content coming out, including obviously building out my shed to shop conversion. We're also working on our brand new barn, which is about a 32 by 28 two-story barn. On the bottom is going to be for the animals. On the top is going to have a nice Airbnb space, wool studio, and some other space for something later on down the road. And we'll be getting our high tunnel in order finally this year. We've got our garlic will be coming up later on, obviously. We'll talk about the whole processing of that. And we have many other projects going on, including our cute little sheep videos. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, here's what I got. I have these boxes. In fact, I probably have about 50 of them. And these boxes need a home. I bought them in an auction full of stuff. I don't know, the guy was probably an electrician or something, maybe. Really old electrical stuff, nuts and bolts, like literally hundreds of packages of screw bolt combination or screw nut combinations, etc. that I got to figure out what to do with. But in the meantime, I need to make something to hold them. And I have thought about this a lot, but not enough to actually solve my problem. But basically, the idea is that they need to sit a certain distance apart, so I can slide them in and out, obviously, in some sort of cabinet. They're 12 inches deep. They are approximately 5 5/8 wide, and again, 12 inches deep, and their depth is 3 1/8 or so. That's the height of the drawer, but I actually need 3, I believe it's 3 5/8 to cover this little lip. I mean, normally this would have gone in some sort of cabinet to slide in and out, and I'm just going to have to either deal with this or maybe try to bend them all down. I don't know. I got 50 of them, so it's kind of hard to think about that. So one of the things that I had in mind was basically to be able to just somehow build or configure some sort of cabinet that I could quote-unquote expand. And in other words, figure out the basic measurements for 2 or 4 of these things, and then I can just keep growing that, all right? All right, I think I came up with a plan. I wasn't really crazy about making individual boxes or individual cubes, so to speak, for each one of these, because I was just going to use a lot of wood for no real reason. So I thought, well, why don't you just put 2 side by side? Well, if I do put 2 side by side, I get about 11.5 inches, which gives me a small gap in between that allows these to move independently, and whatever, they'll clank together and they might get caught here and there. But if I go with 11.5 inches for the inside space, we still have 12 inches in length, all right, which we're going to keep. The back will be put on the outside. So as far as the height goes, we're going to look at 5 inches of height for each one of these. And so that will give me plenty of clearance between the bottom and the top, just in case something's a little too big, etc. Now, it is true that my concept for, a box like this that I can potentially put in, and that's 4.5 inches tall. So 5 inches again is going to be just enough room for something like this to just go in the slot if I don't want to put in one of my metal drawers. So I think I'm going to solve the problem that way. So I think let's get started. Alright, so for my little project here, I've decided that I am going to use my Kreg jig and make some pocket holes for it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, 99% of the reason I'm doing it this way, well, that's not entirely true. 50% of the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I have 1/2 inch material. I don't have 3/4 inch material, and I didn't want to put dados and rabbits in that would make it really weak, especially my middle shelves and such. So I thought it would just be more convenient. Second reason, and probably debatably the most important reason, is I bought this jig and I had to look it up in 2006, and I have never, ever used it. This is the original, it's not original, but this is like the Kreg 3, I think, or K3, or whatever they're called. I don't know how it works. And I just thought it'd be fun to try. And I already realized I forgot my glue. There's some faux pas about. Yeah, so that's all too low, David. That's. Is there something that I'm missing about that? These things at like different angles? Or something that I should have been aware of? Because it looks like it's catching my board too low. Okay, well, as usual, camera died and I put the back on and hung my cabinet up in my very messy shop, which it is here. Couple of things to comment about. The first thing is, did I like pocket hole jig and the screws? First of all, yeah, it's actually really easy to put a cabinet or a box together pretty darn fast. I will admit that. My experience is that it does require a little extra finesse to make sure your joints are perfectly accurate, because you can get slippage or movement when the screw goes in. Not a big deal. It's just, it is what it is. So I do have a few, of my joints that are off a little bit, but who cares? It's not that big of a deal because, and you can see here, it's because this should have been my center line, not the edge. That one's off just a little bit. That one's pretty good. That one's good. I did start to notice it towards the end a bit more. Can't really fix it because once that hole's there, you can't really move it because it's going to want to wander into that hole. So in the grand scheme of things, I do like it. Next, this cabinet is in my shop. It is not fine furniture. I have made fine furniture. I wouldn't use pocket holes for it, but if I want to throw something together for the shop, if I want to make some drawers for the shop, or if I'm making something easy that goes into a closet, etc., that's fine. If I'm going to be making, a fine chest of drawers, yeah, I probably am going to use some real joinery because it looks better, it's nicer, and ultimately you have a better product. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to be building at least one more for the rest of my boxes. Turns out I don't have 50 of them. I have 40-ish. And I got plenty of them just filled full of bolts or I should say nuts. Sorry, nuts, electrical equipment, lots of screws. You name it. Old farm stuff, couplings, door hardware, pipe, chains, you know, you name it. So I've got it all, and I just need to go through it. And then the other thing is take these drawers, which are from my father, who passed quite a few years ago, and obviously I'm going to make some shelves to hang them up, so that's going to take up this other part. So it's a good start. You know, I don't know that it's going to be here forever and ever and ever. And again, if I was to do it again, I definitely would use 3/4 material here, and then I would put in and rabbit grooves for putting the shelves in, so to speak. But it's going to hold up. I don't have stuff that's too heavy in here. There's some stuff that's a little heavy that doesn't belong, but you know, we're going to figure it out and make it make everybody happy. Thanks for watching. Hey, and by the way, if you enjoyed the video, please click the subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for more content from Margaret and me about our homestead and all the projects that we have going on. Very soon, we're going to start posting all the videos for our barn build. 2-story barn, about 32 by 28 that we're going to be building. Downstairs is going to be built the barn. Upstairs is going to be Airbnb space and some other stuff, wool studio, you name it. So pay attention to those. And we're going to have a lot of projects going on this year. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.